I wish good things to you who's watching this. I am Alexey, and this is day 2 of round 1 of the 2025 Carcassonne Champions League. We are in the qualifier stage, still with 100 plus participants. Hi P-chan, and we are about to start our matches for the day. The first match is between Santiago Iniguez of Argentina with the screen name Santiblader and Ervin Gall of Romania with the screen name Ervin G. And the second match, by popular demand, we did a poll, so we're not gonna watch the new players of Moldova and Uruguay. We're gonna leave those for a little bit later. Or maybe we can catch a couple of minutes in case our main match of the day finishes early. But as 70% of my viewers decided, the main match for today will be Claudio Horchera versus Sergei Koksharov of Ukraine with a screen name Devaka. So both master level players. It's going to be a treat. Hi Glovir, hi Ignacio. I already see that we have Argentinian fans. So do let us know if there are any Romanian fans in the chat who are fanning for Ervin. Now both players, both Santi and Ervin, are very interesting. So Santi, I think, was the youngest ever team captain at the 2023 World Team Carcassonne Online Championships for Argentina at just 18. Do correct me if I'm wrong. I know there are Argentinians in the chat. And Ervin is possibly the fastest player in the world. Definitely the fastest among elite level players. He happens to be the world record holder for the quickest one game at the World Team Carcassonne Online Championships. He defeated, if I'm not mistaken, Yaroslav Herasimenko of Ukraine in just 61 seconds. So I might got it wrong by a couple of seconds, but the gist is something like this. Hi Hernan. I see we have more Argentinian fans. So we have 1 minute before the match, just enough time to me being paranoid about the sound again. Let me know if everything's okay. I can do it louder, softer, and I want to make sure that our coverage goes as smoothly as possible. And they have already started. Oh no, they haven't, but at least they have created the game. A reminder to y'all that the format is best of 3, as it is for the vast majority of these qualifiers. We're still in the early rounds, and no, they haven't started yet. They should. It's going to be probably in less than a minute from now. Wait. Thank you, Ignacio, for adding that Santi is the current national champion. Yeah, and also made the top 8 in the World Carcassonne Championship, the individual championship. And I'm not sure how many times Ervin was national champion. I find it quite difficult to keep track of the national championships. I find it much easier to keep track of online events because all the records are there. But if we have any Romanians in the chat, then do let me know. I know the peak elo for both of these players is above 700 for sure. What their rating is at the moment, we will find out in a second, but it also doesn't really matter that much. $5.44 for Santiblader. How much for Ervin? Okay, that's dangerous. Warming up with expansions. We know that expansions Carcassonne and regular Carcassonne have quite a different strategy, and I think it's quite easy to get some negative influences. But Ervin is very, very experienced. I'm sure he'll be fine. Look at this, over 17,000 games played. Well, I guess if you can squeeze a game, an entire competitive tournament game in 1 minute, you can get 17,000 of those. Oh, hi Ervin. Ervin's in the chat. Alrighty. I assume then we are waiting for Santiblader. Both players are online. Too many games, Ervin is saying. Yeah, addictions work like this. But I can, of course, empathize with too many games. Right, what's up with that? Hi Napamai, hi Girappa. Alright, finally we have somebody rooting for Ervin as well, to keep things a little bit balanced. Oh, okay, they must have started now. Let's try again. Yes, there we go. Ervin now currently rated a little bit higher at 587. But it is Santiblader with a starting player advantage. Red meeples for the Argentinian, green for the Romania. Nothing matches the colors of the national flag. I'm not sure if I can approve of that. But I believe red and green are just the default colors of Board Game Arena, unless you specify your particular preferences. Well, in any case, Santiblader appears to be playing from a mobile device. I know that sometimes Board Game Arena indicates this wrongfully. That sometimes you actually are playing from a computer, but it shows that you're on a mobile anyway. If you have been online on a mobile in the last couple days or so, playing from a mobile device certainly would put one at a massive disadvantage. Very tricky when it comes to board vision. But anyway, Santi starts with 4 points. Ervin with the only possible move occupying the city. Santi starts a new city, again the only possible move, and Ervin starts potentially a 6-point road. And Santi getting really creative here already, going for the mini battle against Ervin. So the idea that this city, like if this square gets blocked, then the green meeple of the Romanian will be stuck with 2 points, whereas this guy can grow the city for, I don't know, 8-10 points. There was, of course, the risk of these two meeples being tied together, but not anymore, as Santi is getting 4 more points and also tying Ervin's road. Ervin starting a new city and at the same time a blocking attack on this spot over here. Also potentially going over here, taking 3 points, and entering into a 2-point versus 1-point winning mini battle. Now Santi has a variety of options. The move that stands out is this: 3 clean points and an attacking platform against Ervin's city. That's probably best. An alternative was going over here and starting a 4-point road like this. And that's interesting, actually. I think it's a mistake by Ervin. It has to be a mistake by Ervin. I don't think it's in Green's interest to be blocking this square, because Green already started blocking this square of this city. And so, like, the ideal scenario for Green is getting like a Dorito over here and then actually freeing up this road meeple and blocking this guy, blocking the red guy completely. Because here's also another problem: like, if you block this square, then suddenly Santi can draw something like a regular Dorito and go over here and tie together this red meeple and this green meeple. Regardless of whether they will be unified or not, this will be a problem for the second trap meeple of green, the road meeple here. And another downside of this move is that there's no meeple on this road, which makes it quite easy for Santi to snatch 4 easy points. Also then go over here, start restricting this platform. Yeah, so quite surprised of this move. Now players now exchange natural moves. Finally is Ervin on the board with 4 points for the city cap. Santi took 2 points for the crossroads and started bothering Green City over here a little bit. But yeah, the thing with these moves, it's quite interesting commenting Ervin's games, because, well, obviously, like, if he wins, then it's always impressive because, oh wow, how can you think so fast and then still win anyway? But if he loses, then it's very easy to blame it on just quick playing. Well, you know, maybe if he would have thought more, he would have won. So certainly, like, when I see a move like this, it's my first thought is that, oh, maybe it's just too fast, but maybe it was just a different idea and an assessment. Yeah, it's quite difficult for me to understand, honestly, the idea behind this move, because, like, if you block yourself, then it's can only be done to prevent a disaster scenario of the city being completed. But then the city's nowhere near to close to completion. So, well, in any case, as I said before, so Santi does take advantage of these easy 4 points. And he now will all go over here, take a 5th point, and make a mistake. Santi, why would you do that? The reason why it's a mistake is because you're exposing the road end over here, and it's very easy for Ervin to go over here and defend his road like this. So probably something, yeah, exactly that Ervin is doing now, and he managed to sort of bail out for this mistake. So really surprised by this move by Santi. The correct move, of course, is doing the same, but turning the crossroad upwards to make it harder for Ervin to finish his road, and to have roughly the same blocking prospects against this square over here. So both players exchange quite severe mistakes, to be honestly, but Ervin's the one who comes up on top of this exchange. The problem for him is that he's still 16 points behind on the scoreboard. But the good thing for him is that he has these 2 cities over here, so this splitter certainly was handy a couple of moves ago, and he will be completing at least one of them. Most of the time he will actually be completing both of them. Santi, in the meantime, is happy to draw the triple city with the road tile for 2 quick points and the unification of these 2 cities. Yeah, so everything is happening pretty much as I predicted. Santi with a straight line, an obvious move is to go here and block and restrict this city. Now, even though the city can still be completed, the main achievement of this move is that now green can't really place a tile here productively, because obviously if green places something over here, this would expose a blocking platform. So green's kind of forced to wait for a long time. So let's see what Santi does with this triple city tile, as Ervin managed to finally get a completed city and get 4 more points, 8 more points actually on the scoreboard. 4 more tiles in the city, 8 more points. Yeah, so the idea is, so I said Ervin can't go here, and what Santi could do in the meantime, he could, for example, go here just with a simple straight road, and then once finally Ervin draws the dagger tile that fits here, Santi could go here, further restricting the square and so on and so on. Another approach is just placing this tile that he has in hand over here. That would work really well. And I think he's debating between this move and this move, sort of expanding his opponent's city but making it harder to complete. He opts for the by far superior option. And now let's see how Ervin handles this. Yeah, so Ervin, I would have to say, makes a mistake here. It's a very, very tempting move to make, and I can certainly understand. And it works in the short term. So you sort of add a city cap, cover up this city, and remove some blocking tiles from the square. So for example, Santi can't now go over here and completely block the square. But the problem what this move does is that it also removes a lot of defense tiles. So now, for example, if Ervin draws like a Dorito tile with a road, he can't go over here and protect the square. The only possible defense tiles are the 2 starting tiles, which go over here, but they aren't real defense tiles because Ervin needs the starting tile over here. So this really only delays the grim fate of this meeple, but this move makes it less likely rather than more likely that green would be able to successfully complete this city in the long term. In the meantime, Ervin gets some quick points. Santi will start a new city, now probably going to continue it. It's perfectly safe to add this Dorito over here. No really other good options. Yeah, but back to this move. So the other problem with this move is that it kind of putting all the eggs in one basket is saying, I will try and complete the city no matter what. Because the thing is, like, once the city is blocked like this, well, then this meeple will be stuck at 3 points. If you don't place the city cap over here, at the very least, if this gets blocked, let's say, then green will be able to get a Dorito tile and get some further expansion from the city. Now, Santi's playing very creatively. I'm not sure what's that about. Kind of continuing his city indirectly. There's no good reason to do that in this position. There would be a good reason to do that. I'll tell you why. Like, if this square were dangerous, so maybe Santi didn't want to continue the city directly because, you know, Ervin could get a Dorito and bend red city into this square and block over here. But since there's still 3 daggers that fit into that square, then it shouldn't really be a problem for red if even green does something like this. Yeah, so it is possible that green maybe like just saw the orientation of the daggers differently. Yeah, because now, well, that's interesting. Yeah, Santi is now trying the self-invasion to build the city like this. Ervin is spending an entire monastery just on blocking. That's an interesting move, but if you do stuff like this, and if you're attempting to block 2 meeples in an equal position, you're better off placing a meeple here yourself for insurance. Because what if red gets this tile after all? Then at the very least, after red goes here, and continues his city, you're going to have a 5-point monastery, which is very easy to complete. Moreover, like if you place a meeple here, red goes here, you can get a curve, place a meeple here, get a 5-point road like this. So with this road end, I think we'll need some visualization, right? It's like that, like that, like that. We kind of, so this could be the possible road. So there are really, really lots of good options here for Ervin. In the meantime, Santi is meepling the field, and actually Santi is really doing not that great, because Ervin's about to block 2 of his meeples, but at the very least, Santi's gonna block Ervin. Yeah, that's why I said this move was indeed a mistake, but Ervin now continuing his block. So technically, this city is not entirely blocked, but it's almost blocked, because there's only one tile that fits into that square. And even if Santi manages to get that tile, it's kind of like, it's a really long time before that city is getting completed. So probably as Santi, I wouldn't even bother. Like, I wouldn't even go over here. As Santi, I think the strongest move is going over here, dropping a city cap in your field, and kind of already starting an attack on this city. Yeah, I think Santi is just being a bit overly optimistic. But if you can, I guess if you can elicit a move like this from your opponent, which sort of adds a shield to your potential city, you can do that. But yeah, but the problem with that move, it spends a good city cap on a city which you have no guarantee of even expanding, right? Because like there's only one cow tile that's left into this square. And if Ervin draws that cow tile, this means that this move will net red's 0 points, and 0 is really not a lot of points. So Ervin's continuing his block just to make extra sure that this 2 meeples never see the lights of day. Hi Spongios, wishing good luck to Ervin. So now we have tied the number of Argentinian and Romanian fans in the chat, I believe. So whoever you're rooting for, if you have not made yourselves known, now is the time. Both players need your support. Ervin now invading the farm. He's a player that really prioritizes the fields, typically not invading, but being the first one to drop a farmer. That's normally his thing, so maybe Santi was studying his games and beat him to it. Santi, with a range of choices, could go here, restrict the city. Yeah, that looks strong, actually. That looks really strong. But also could take 3 points. And, you know, like on a closed board like this, where both sides have very few meeples, points match her a lot. So I think that's a strong move. Yeah, exactly. And then had he not taken those 3 points, Ervin was ready to snatch them. Ervin invades the farm. Santi with a Dorito tile. That's an excellent tile for him to go here and develop this ruin. Or actually, even better, I think he could go here and develop the ruin indirectly, hoping to get another Dorito later on. There's some problems with this. So if you go like this, it's sort of more organic monastery development. It's sort of easier to put something, yeah, so it's easier to put like this, and he goes for the indirect development, indeed. The problem with that is that this square is a bit sensitive. It sometimes gets blocked because there are very few of those Doritos with a cross or with a road. So in fact, there's only one. In the meantime, Ervin takes his first lead of the scoreboard by finishing an 8-point city and chopping a farmer, preparing to invade here, expand the farm here. And Santi, well, will need some time before he can make a proper comeback. I guess he would need to finish the monastery, and if he does finish the monastery, then I don't think he will be too much bothered by this field. So Ervin does draw a dagger, and not only does he connect the farmers, or makes it more easy to connect the farmers in the future through here, he's also dropping a city cap into his field potentially. Santiblader with a great tile. 3 quick points, I presume. But he also might want to actually go here and take only 2 points and put some real pressure on this connection square over here. Because if you look at the crossroads, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, there are no crossroads remaining. So honestly, like, going here and just making the 1 point sacrifice might be worth it for red, if you think about his overall winning chances. Because the idea is this: if you take 2 points here, and green doesn't draw a curve immediately, you get a straight line here, and both of these squares are blocked. So that's actually pretty dangerous. But Santi decides that he doesn't want to do any of that. He is just fine with 3 points. He's okay with relinquishing the field. So he chooses the move which scores more and reduces variance. And now he gets a fantastic tile, starts a new city with his last meeple, but it's still totally worth doing it because he can get a meeple back really easily. Here with the monastery, or you know, sometimes his city just doesn't get blocked, and then he can get 2 meeples back like this. Ervin finally gets his 5-point road finished. Taking advantage of the road end that was exposed to him by Santi. Ervin taking 7 points. Well, technically 4 points for now. It's just the 4 points for the city. But once this farmer connects here or here, then these will be in fact 7 points. Santi with a city cap. It might be tempting for him to go here, but don't. I think the idea of completing this city should be entirely abandoned. And if he gets the cow tile to fit over here, his city will be big enough anyway as a ruin. Like, red is doing much better than one might think. But Santi's thinking about this. Already under 2 minutes on his clock. Yeah, and he correctly decides that it's not worth trying to finish the big city, just getting back the farmers enough. Ervin places a tile over here, and this is to restrict the opportunities of red to reconnect to this farm. But again, red can try and win without the farmer. Now red has an amazingly strong move. Reds can go over here and drop a 3-point farmer. So that would be a move which would be fantastic for red's winning chances, because first of all, 3 farm points are not nothing. Second of all, super easy to draw one of the 3 remaining straight lines and connect to the farm like this, and it's virtually impossible to block. Well, actually, it's completely impossible to block because nothing goes into this square. So it's a... Oh yeah, and there's also a starting tile as well. So there are 4 tiles, so this field connection is almost guaranteed, and at the same time, it will be blocking this square completely. Yeah, so... yeah, it is... So he does do the block, but it is extremely unpleasant to see a big... Like, not dropping a farmer there is a big mistake. So Ervin takes advantage of that and drops a farmer himself. Well, yeah, so Santi, of course, gets quite fortunate in winning the coin flip. Now this ruin is ginormous. It's around 15 points, 14 points to be precise. Santi has 10 points on the scoreboard, and actually he can even survive losing this field in all likelihood. Okay, so both players are exchanging. Oh, come on! Alright, it's fine. Ervin is saying that this move was 7 points, which is true, yeah, so... But, like, 7 points is not such a big deal, because if you get... like, 7 points is the same as just finishing a city cap in his field. So I think what Santi should do, like, if Ervin draws a city cap next move and goes over here, Santi should also type in the chat, oh, 7 points, sad face. Alrighty. But this is not going to happen because Santi is taking advantage of this empty city cap. And Ervin, quite interestingly, immediately connects to the fields. And I think he was a bit premature because with 3 straight lines still remaining, surely you can take the chance and just go over here. Well, I mean, he's doing just fine because, yeah, so the reason why I would have used this tile over here is because Santiblader had something like this available, and had he drawn that on a previous turn, that could have been trouble for Ervin. And another reason why I really want to prioritize blocking the city as opposed to connecting to the farm is, again, because there are so many straight lines remaining, and that if once you draw those straight lines, there won't be any good potential use for them. They're not very useful tiles for either side. And so by delaying this connection, and maybe sacrificing, you know, a bit of a probability of connection, kind of delaying the connection was perfectly right. So normally when you have 3 tiles still in the deck, the probability is around 88% to connect, but closer to the end of the game, the approximation of powers of 2 becomes less precise. So the true probability, if you actually do the calculations, it will be like already above 90%, significantly above 90%, like 92 or something, possibly more, with 7 tiles remaining. Alrighty, but Santi is still getting punished here. So Ervin did manage to get something going for him in this block. Santi just dumps the tile. Yeah, not sure what this farmer was about. It's only 3 points, and there are no road monasteries for any crazy invasions available. Santi's still probably gonna win this, but it's gonna be relatively close. Yeah, okay, so now he's going over here and trying to connect this farmer, yeah, to make sure that this guy loses 3 points, and Ervin decides, you know what, nope, don't want to lose 3 points, I'm just gonna block myself. But 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, I think that wasn't necessary, because there are no curved tiles remaining, no curvy tiles from any kind. So was that a miscount by both opponents? Because I think what Ervin should have done is just gone over here for 1 point. And there was no threat of losing this meeple, because again, I believe that all curved and curved shaped tiles have gone out. I could be wrong, I was proven wrong before. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, but I am not wrong in this instance. So maybe Ervin decided that he's going to lose anyway, but I don't think that's the case, because he has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He has 18 points for farmers and 6 points for monastery. That's 24. 3 points for the, that's 27 plus 17. Yeah, so the game is now completely tied. And had Ervin... no, there's this farmer, yeah. So red has 3 points extra. Had red gone over here, though, had green gone over here, he would have had 1 more point and a slightly better chance of winning. But it is unbelievably close game. Yeah, so now the game is tied, but Santi has a meeple in hand, which he will use to score 3 points in anywhere, any place, and he should win this game by 3 points if my calculations are correct. Despite the dominance of Ervin on this field. Yeah, so maybe Santi not wanting to drop a farmer, that was sort of a way to induce Ervin to overfarm, but I don't think it's something particularly desirable for Reds. Anyway, ended up working out for him. Very, very close game. A 3-point farmer for Red here, a 3-point farmer here, and 18 points for Green in total. And oh, look at this, I still got it. So my calculations were correct. 3 points is indeed the difference. So only 1 point lost here by Ervin. I don't think he could have really done much about anything, really. Yeah, could have drawn a little bit better, so maybe if Ervin were to get a city cap early enough to get some quick points, that was a possibility. It felt like, you know, the game was one quick point tile away from going either way. Yeah, both players being quite creative, I have to say. Trading some blunders in the opening, then playing really, really well in the middle, and in the end, just leaving the fate of the game in the hands of the tile gods. Oh, of course, we have to look at the results. So spend time. Ervin uncharacteristically slow, spending 3 minutes and 40 seconds. Santi's choosing the right strategy. Like, if you're playing against somebody who's really quick, then you want to annoy them. And 22 minutes of thinking time, that's pretty a lot for online. That's quite a lot for online Carcassonne. I would say that's not enough. But in this time format, you know, that's pretty much as you can. So he's really milking that clock, taking advantage of the time formats, and you know, potentially making his opponents impatient. I'm not sure. I don't remember Santiblader's normal playing tempo, so he does seem to be adjusting to Ervin in particular. When I played with him, so he is not fast, he's not slow. I would describe his playing speed as medium. Oh, offline now, maybe some issues. Well, anyway, they did say that they would be taking a 2-minute break, and we can follow suit. So I will see y'all in 1 minute with some more Carcassonne. And we're back, and game 2 has already started with quite a lot of events. Both players have not scored, or neither player has scored, but Santi has a green meeple placed in a 5-point monastery. Then there is a potentially shared road, a potentially shared city, and a precariously placed 2-point city of Santiblader, which could now be blocked or severely restricted. But fortunately for Santi, it is his turn and not Ervin's, and there are a couple of strong moves available for him, and this is not one of them. So the idea is interesting, like trying to go for this city, but it was better to go over here. And there's just a much more flexible move, because there are many tile combinations that allow connecting, imagine like a meeple over here, yeah, on this triangle. So there are many tile combinations that allow connecting to this city in such a way that also builds up a monastery. And if you place a tile over here, then it's like it's just always possible to bail out and simply build a separate city as well. Yeah, and now it's a problem for Santiblader with this city. Now that he completes over here, he will be... I mean, he will eventually complete the 6-point city, but then what's going to happen is that this connection platform is going to be... not connection platform, but connection square going to be slightly restricted. And then Ervin can go over here, block the square, and... yeah, Santi's already in a bit of trouble, actually. That was a fantastic move by Ervin just now. Look at the situation. So 2 quick points, and Santi has this city. So 3 cities restricted towards the same type of tile, a city cap with a road. Now that he has a city cap with a field, he still should unapologetically and with no fear take 4 points, because it is not a problem to expose this city, because this other city is already exposed. Yeah, that's kind of the thing, that it's typically bad to have one meeple placed dangerously, but it is not bad to have 2 meeples placed dangerously, because you're very likely to save one of them and then actually benefit from whichever danger, like whichever the thing for which you were taking the risk was. So Santi is now just happy of taking some quick points. Ervin's building his city at the bottom and restricting Santi's city successfully as well. There are only 2 tiles that go into this square, and even if Santi draws one of them, it would create some problems. It would expose connection squares to the city or some blocking opportunities. It would also leave a 3-point road for Ervin up for grabs. And Ervin now trying to block the other city. Santi making another mistake. It was much better going over here first, to having more and have more flexibility as to what goes there. Yeah, but it seems to work out at least temporarily. Santi's gonna go over here and put himself in a position of 1 tile before completion of the monastery. Still plenty of curves remaining, 6 of those plus 1 road monastery, so a good chance to complete it. The downside is having to use all these shielded tiles. Hi Krish, hi Sergey. Ignatius asking, Alexey, are you going to broadcast Krishna's match tomorrow at 1400 UTC? Maybe. I'm gonna think about it. It's kind of depends on some plans. Yeah, they did change colors, and that's because what happens if you don't specify any color preferences on Board Game Arena. Ervin gets a scoreboard lead with 8 points from this city over here. Santi with a... I was going to say difficult choice, but not so difficult choice. So the choice is between finishing the city or protecting this other city, and I would actually say that protecting this other city is more important. Just cause there's still... Well, I don't know about that. I don't like this. It is quite the gamble, but it pays off. Well, actually, no, it doesn't pay off. Because Santi would have... Nope, yeah, I guess you could say that it pays off. So he got the tile to get a meeple back without actually having to defend the meeple in the first place. So, and look at this. What did I tell you 20 tiles ago? When you do stuff like this, what's gonna happen is that this square becomes more vulnerable. Ervin gets a city tile to build up, and then he gets to block this connection square, and he has the larger ruin, and green has the smaller ruin. If you don't believe me, you can then watch the recording. And I told you all that 20 tiles ago. So that's why, yeah, these sort of like attacking moves for bigger ruins, they're just not that strong. And especially with the quadruple city gone out, there were just so many blocking possibilities for red that life as green is quite difficult here. Nevertheless, green is still ahead on the scoreboard and has a Monish which is about to be completed. And, you know, this lost mini battle is not a huge deal breaker just yet. Like, it's only... Well, it's 6 points extra for Ervin, so... A lot will depend on a variety of factors. There will be a question of whether the city gets completed. There will be a question of whether this monastery gets completed. The answer is probably yes. And there will be a question is what's going to happen in terms of field play. So Ervin is starting a city over here with, of course, the idea of getting a road tile, meepling a farmer, and you know, then doing something about it, and then, you know, developing this 9-point farm. Santi's starting a new city, and Ervin is immediately trying to break it, not afraid to sacrifice a couple of points. And Santi's now with a bit of a dilemma. Well, actually, it's not that much of a dilemma. I think he has a strong move. He can try break Ervin's city in the same way as Ervin is trying to break his. And the reason why this move is a bit stronger than moves like this normally are is because there is a direct threat of drawing a Dorito tile and actually connecting this city to the big ruin already. An alternative is just going over here, actually, and sort of trying to create the same sort of risk for red. That another upside of this move is that it blocks the opportunity for a counter field, and this is the option that Santi goes for. So a lower variance move with a very, very similar idea that kind of gets the job done. Ervin gets a 6-point monastery. Santi adds a city cap and creates a threat of completing the city, and Ervin doesn't even want to finish his own city. Instead, he wants to use this divider to deny Santiblader a city, and that makes sense because Ervin has the meeple majority, and he really want to pounce on that meeple majority. Like, you just do not give this guy meeples back. And Santi's starting a new meeple, new city, and Ervin manages to successfully connect the cities, drop a farmer, which is a fantastic farmer. It looks like lame, but it really isn't. It is very easy for red to connect to the farmer like this, and in the unlikely event this field connection is unsuccessful, well, this 3-point farmer is controlling this 3-point city anyway, if Santi finishes the city, then red will have 6 points for the farm. And if Santi doesn't finish his city, well, green's going to have his meeple trapped, which is something that will certainly please red and all his fans. Hi, Nalleheim. Thank you for the kind words. Santiblader, 3 quick points. The highest scoring move available to him. Ervin gets a monastery point. That's important for him. Santi will now get a chance to continue his city. But he's thinking about it. And I think there's a chance that he's actually considering like a move like this, getting 3 quick points, and then maybe getting a curve and like blocking here. I don't think it's worth it. I mean, going here is surely the best move. Leaves the road empty, of course. No need to get greedy, please. Well, actually, he's thinking about it, and I can see why. Because this road already has a road end over here, and he does get greedy, and he does go for it, actually. So how interesting. Ervin immediately tries to block or at least restrict Santi's city, and it works successfully because Santi cannot put a tile here anymore. But he can finish this other city, something that will make him quite happy. 8 points go to green's scoreboard, and Ervin's in trouble. And he goes for the field, so his idea is to take away the field from red, but because he's so much behind on the scoreboard, I don't think he can afford to do that yet. I think it's a real misstep by Ervin. I think the best move for Ervin was taking these 3 quick points here and preparing to complete the monastery with another monastery. Because there wasn't such major urgency in attacking the field, and I'll tell you why. So, I mean, like, what Ervin could have done, just take 3 points, and then with the next move, do this, just like with a normal road. The reason why you can afford to wait is because there's still this little piece of road over here, little piece of land. So this means that Ervin can, so let's say like if green were to go here, then red can go here again and equalize. And same is true, so like there's no urgency in going here because green can go here and equalize all the farmers. So Santi gets a meeple back, chooses not to meeple this road. Yeah, and look at this. So Ervin does get a road, that's all great. But imagine, same stuff, but with tiles reversed. So this tile over here and the road tile over here. Absolutely same result, except that Ervin gets 3 extra tiles on the scoreboard. So if red loses this game by 3 points, we will know exactly where those 3 points were to be found. Santi is now thinking about blocking the farm entry. Yeah, this is actually quite interesting because we're running out of monasteries in the deck. There's only 2 remaining, and Ervin really needs a monastery over here. And so maybe Santi's thinking that, maybe Ervin draws 1 monastery but not the other. And that he can somehow still preserve the points. Santi with 4 quick points for the road. Ervin with 4 quick points for that road prior to that. Ervin now very happy to draw a monastery. And actually still technically a chance to draw a tile that goes here. That's so interesting. But Santiblader finally successfully completes what's going to shortly become a 12-point city and a farmer for 6 points with an empty city cap. That is painful. But Ervin still fighting on. protecting this square, realizing that there is still a dagger remaining. One dagger only that fits here, but a dagger nonetheless. Santi, probably going to start a new city over here. Not sure if there's anything else to consider. Yeah, also, if you think about it, Santi never drew a curve for this monastery. So there's still plenty of curves in the deck. There's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's 3 of those. So it was Ervin who was drawing the curves. So Santi can still, yeah, even get a meeple back. Which means that, yeah, surely you gotta go for the city here and just create more threats. An alternative is to go here and meeple this 4-point city and then try to create another threat of completion. So the idea is that, like, Ervin would go over here and then Ervin would add a point to Santiblader city, so that's an option. I'm also seeing that this tile over here, this dagger tile, would fit nicely over here. So this will mean that Ervin will not be able to claim this 9-point field as initially planned because he already needs the tile over here. So it's really only Santi who can benefit from this field. I mean, Ervin can still get a curve and go here and claim a 6-point field, but 6 points is less than 9 points by 3. Nalaheim is saying Ervin might have to secure the bottom field by taking away the connection spot from Santi on the right. Great point. Yeah, so actually Ervin needs to have a curve for other purposes. Yeah, but Ervin instead blocks Santiblader city, which makes sense. Like, this block, this point sacrifice actually makes sense because yeah, this point sacrifice actually makes sense because there's still plenty of city caps with a field. Well, there are a couple. There's a splitter, I believe, and there's one vanilla. So this really restricts that city severely. Actually, I believe it's almost a complete block. And look at that. Okay, Ervin sure is going to meeple this field, right? Yeah, so Ervin's being really efficient. Santiblader draws a dagger, but the wrong kind. So the coin flip for this dagger is still in question. And of course, this was a very important move because with these 3 quick points, Santiblader actually threatened the expansion of his field. With the curve here, he would add these 2 cities to his field, so it was very important for Ervin to meeple that field urgently and to block that expansion threat. Santi with the dagger, not sure what to do. Just leaves it out in the open. I can see some thought behind that. The idea is that, well, if Ervin gets his dagger tile and gets his meeple back and gets the connection to the farm, then Santi's gonna go here and drop a farmer, and Santi's gonna already have a city cap lying around in his field. That was the thought behind this. So green here, thinking really in advance. And now I'm starting to have concerns because he's not making that move instantly. Well, I guess Santi doesn't make any moves instantly, but yeah, so he does this. He's gonna go for the farm. Fantastic sequencing by green, and Ervin gets more farmers, develops the farm. And there's still city caps. Wait, there's 1 city cap only? Are there starting tiles left? 1, 2, 3... Okay, there are 2 city caps. There are 2 city caps. So this meeple is good. This meeple is good. And there are all kinds of good things for Ervin. So he can draw a city cap and drop a farmer here. and then there's still one vanilla left, which can go here and connect all the farms. And also Ervin has to hope for the last remaining starting tile, because if Santi gets the starting tile, he's going to finish an 8-point city in his field. That's 11 points to his scoreboard and a meeple back. I don't think he can survive. I don't think Ervin can survive that. But if Ervin does get the starting tile, then it could get sort of kind of close. Okay, Ervin gets... Yeah, you sure? I think... Actually, I don't think that's the move. I think Ervin... First of all, he needed to think. Unless he's just incredibly quick at calculating everything. But I think the move for Ervin was actually to connect the fields and then wait for the starting tile to do this stuff. Because now Ervin cannot connect the fields. Well, he can only do this, like, I guess, with 2 movements. Yeah, so he cannot connect the fields anymore easily, and it's not great. Yeah, so you see, so now he has the starting tile, and this is... Well, I mean, he could be just fine. He could be just fine here. But I believe he will end up missing out on a couple of points. Or maybe not. Or maybe it's the opposite. So if he's going to manage to go here, if there's a row tile remaining, I'm not sure where the final tile is. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It's not a straight line for sure. I think it could be a curve. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, it's a curve. Okay. So then he's actually going to go here. And he's going to preserve the 6 points for this guy. That's pretty interesting. But you know, that was extremely risky. It could have gone south pretty easily. So does Ervin win? I mean, he does get 21 field points. And he had the mini battle here. Unbelievable. The Romanian pulls it off. Saying his trademark GG. Not just a regular GG, but GG with a dot. And yeah, so he realized correctly that he needs both of these city caps. Okay, so to his credit, like, I mean, I don't know. He says that he got lucky with the city caps, but it's not just luck. Like, he needed to realize that it was his only possible win condition. It's just under 25%. You know, it's not crazy luck. It sometimes happens. So it was still an excellent situational awareness by Red. Oh, Santi's saying he could have prevented it by placing the curve next to your farm. Yeah, but that's why instead of this move, Ervin should have gone over here. And then the thing that Santi's saying about the curve placement is not possible. Oh yeah, so Santi's saying that actually he could have blocked this 2-tile sequence of this guy connecting to the field. That's possible. So, yeah, both players exchanged some endgame imprecisions. But, you know, in Carcassonne, you don't have to play perfectly. You just have to win against your opponent. That's pretty much it. And Ervin made all the strongest decision where it mattered. So look at this mini battle over here. These 6 extra points mattered so much. The farm, the block over here. Well, anyway, this means that we are getting a third match, which normally would be a good thing, but now it's kind of meh, because the second match of the evening is already starting between Claudio Jorquera and Divaca. But of course, we have to continue following this. We'll catch up with the other match later. There's no way how I'll deprive you the joy of watching a decider. So yeah, this will be interesting. So Santiblader now gets to start again, and Ervin responds with the only possible reasonable move. Santi's now for an interesting decision. I'm gonna explain this in a second, and this is interesting how it will be psychologically for Santiblader, because he was ahead 1-0. He was extremely close to winning a second game, and he lost the second game narrowly and also kind of due to his own mistake. How will this affect his playing in the third game? Now, this move is interesting. So there are several options. Red going for the city restriction. I think a slightly strong restriction was this. Green now with a juicy piece of road and a monastery. Fantastic tile for green. Reds now trying to block, but green now drops a farmer and finishes a city and continues his road indirectly. So he's drawing really well, but Santi can at least equalize the road. Surely he'll go over here. The road is pretty important. You have to go over here. The city can wait. Yeah, I really wonder if Santi's gonna be tilting here, because also, like, Ervin just won a game, escaping the jaws of defeat, you know, or whatever the expression was. And now also Ervin, like, drew a couple of really good opening tiles. And I'm telling you, this is the stuff that can mess with you. Also now Ervin breaking Red City a little bit, whilst developing his own monastery, and there is now a problem. Santi probably has to go here. Santi definitely has to go here. The reason for that is that there are no tiles like this remaining. It was the last of its kind, so there are 3 identical daggers over here, and this will change the game a lot. So this means that had Santi not gone over here, Ervin would have had an easy opportunity to draw any city plus road tile and sacrifice 1 point and block this square completely and block this meeple completely with that. Blocking attempt failed. So Ervin is 8 points ahead on the scoreboard. The first on the farm and has a monastery, which is well developed. Santi's now has a good tile. Thinking what to do with it, it's really not obvious. So here's some options. He could go here. He could go here, which would be bad. He could go here, which would be bad. Normally it's not bad, but this would actually expose this square to a block. If Ervin were to draw a simple city cap, for example. Again, no dagger to fill the square. So now red can't actually go over here. Red probably needs to go over here first, and then here, and only then here. That's a little tricky to develop this city. Probably needs to go here now. But an alternative which is worth considering is going over here, developing, not developing, but Okay, that's mistake by Santiblader. Yeah, I think if not for the result of the previous game, he would not have made his move. So it's starting a third city in a dubious location, and on a board where blocking cities is much, much easier than normal, and also leaving 4 points, 4 easy points for his opponent to score. Yeah. Well, now Ervin made another mistake. I would say a massive one. He had a chance to finish his city, so get 7 points, get a meeple bag, get 4 points for the city, 1 for the monastery, and some for the field. But instead he went over here because he didn't want Santi to finish the city. But the problem with this move, again, because of all these 3 tiles over here, this square is incredibly vulnerable. With any road tile, Santi can block 2 of Green's meeples. Yeah, it's a massive gamble. It's completely unnecessary when you are 12 points ahead with a good position. Okay, so Santi continues his city, but this continuation also allows for an easy block. Like, if Ervin draws a city cap, he's going to go over here. At least he should. Then this will be blocked. And Ervin is again playing with fire. He's not defending his city. So the move that you should play in a situation like this is you go here with a curve, and you try and make sure that you can put like a triple crossroads and a city cap here. That's what you want to put here. Oh, my. These moves. Okay, Ervin with this dagger. The wrong kind of dagger, of course. Okay, will he now calculate that he can actually block the city? No, he will not. But it's a good move. It separates the 2 roads, preserves a 1-point advantage, starts a new city, which is potentially in his field, and gives him a good shot of trying and taking over the city completely. Okay, Santiblader now needs to count. You don't go for the monastery here. You just go here because blocking this meeple is just so important. I know it's not a move that you want to make with 0 points on the scoreboard, but the long-term upside of the block is so great that you have to do this now, and he does. He finds the discipline to do that. Still doesn't help that Ervin is 4 points even further ahead on the scoreboard. Santi, at the very least, with a scoring tile. And I think Santi's now, yeah, I know what he's thinking. Well, I hope that he's thinking about the orientation. And, well, the answer is actually pretty easy. Go here, turn to the right. I think that's probably best for the variety of reasons. It keeps the field vulnerable to connections. It avoids exposing easy scoring opportunities. But instead he goes for this, and it's not good. It's not good. The reason why it's not good, because it's not a defense. Ervin can still draw a city cap and go here and still leave nothing that fits into the square, because again, the 3 daggers have gone out. So this defense doesn't do that much. Ervin clearly miscounting the tiles. Now this move is understandable, sort of defending the square, which already is completely blocked. Yeah, honestly, it's such an interesting match to watch, because we sort of have streaks of like kind of long-term strategy and board vision and stuff like this, yada yada yada, and then we sometimes just have stuff like this. So Ervin now again invading the city, which, yeah, looks decent, but still was stronger to just block and leave the city trapped with 7 points. Like, 7 points per meeple on this board is not that much. So Ervin will end up sharing the city, no likelihood, but Santi can do some preparations. He can use his temporary meeple advantage. Yeah, he can do stuff like this, actually. And Ervin, again, this was a great move by Santi, kind of trying to create some threats. Ervin's forced to use a city cap for blocking instead of finishing his own city, so staying without meeples for one more turn. Certainly a win for Santi. Santi can consider going here, start pre-building a road, maybe meeple a road, maybe drop a farmer here eventually, connect to the main field. Like, lots of opportunities for red with his 2 meeples. He just needs to spend his time and really, really think about this position long term. Nalaheim is asking, I wonder if Ervin is kicking himself right now after getting his own meeples blocked. I don't think he is. I think he miscounted, because this move indicates that green is maybe hoping still to get a meeple back over here. Santiblader with a fantastic tile now. He can go here and try to really inflict some pain on Ervin's city over here. Try to start a blocking attack. Try to start a blocking attack over here. A lot of fun stuff that he can do. Still 16 points behind, but it's with the 2 meeples trapped of Ervin, it is kind of a balanced position. With a couple of good tiles, Santi can really, like, trust me, the score, like, this game is going to be close. I'm not sure who's going to win, but it's close. Isna is saying, why did green throw a city instead of if city cap instead of finishing this city? Well, it's not quite throwing. Oh, wait. Oh, this one. Yeah. I am puzzled. Okay, I can give an explanation. I know what he was thinking. He didn't want to finish his city because he didn't want to expose the platform for Santiblader to get a tile and reconnect here and gain a 2-1 majority. So I think the plan of green was to first draw a Dorito and then draw a city cap. But you are completely correct, Isna, in evaluating that this plan is way too ambitious. But let's see how this worked out, because remind you, Ervin's still on the scoreboard. More than half of the game has gone by, and Santi has failed to score. And Ervin's now kind of building up a city on the left. Santi with a curve, trying to think what to do with it. I think the answer is meeple a road. Oh, no. The answer is block here, of course. Yeah. And I think he was kind of thinking about a potential farmer, but let's see. So finally, Santiblader is on the scoreboard, although Ervin gets even more points because he had the longer road. Santi with a double city cap. Surely it's time to get some quick points over here. You can't win the game by just blocking. Blocking was great, but now it's time to actually do something. He scores for the wrong city, but it's okay. We can still live with that. Okay, Santi scores 8 points. Ervin just drops a line into his field. Not sure what the purpose of that move is. I think it was stronger to go here and put pressure on Santiblader's city. And hi, Elias. Yeah, Nalaheim, I don't think Ervin is actually watching right now. First of all, if Ervin were watching, I mean, he wouldn't have had done all this stuff. And I'm pretty sure he just came, like, to say hi at the start. Also, the stream does not have a delay and never will. Live action to the viewers is a priority. Oh, look at that! Santi's really going all out for the field, and it works! This is how you play the meeple advantage. You first of all do the blocking, you consolidate, and then you pounce on the big feature, in this case, the field. Bam, bam, and 4 extra points. The field is worth 12 points with 4 completed cities, and it will only grow. At least the one thing that Ervin has for him is the fact that there's still 3 Doritos with the road, and he's gonna go over here, and he will eventually connect in all likelihood, and he'll score this 5-point road, and he'll have 1 more meeple and a chance to maybe equalize, but this field is so closed. There are some opportunities, so there's maybe an opportunity to draw a farmer like here, and connect with a straight line over here. There is also an opportunity to drop a farm right here and connect through the 1 remaining dagger of the left kind. Both opportunities extremely risky. Well, of course, there is some platforms at the top, but for any of those ideas, green would need meeples, something that he's not going to have anytime soon after Santiblader made it even harder for green to complete his city, but green gets 2 quick points. Santi with a curve. Maybe over here? To try and prevent the field connection opportunity that I just described. Or somewhere here for the same reason, just to make it harder to connect from up the top. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. This also is the 9th curve, so there are no more curves remaining. Maybe just something like this is also fine. But I don't believe there is a sufficient number of tiles for Ervin to create a realistic threat of finishing their city. There might be. Just 2025 is asking, any Azul videos coming soon? Definitely something before the end of the year, for sure. Well, now there's this big tournament coming up, and I hope to make something like... so if basically there's this tournament that a group of British enthusiasts is organizing for Azul, that will be based off W2COC, so kind of with inspiration from the Carcassonne Online World Championship, to create a tournament which would later then become maybe an online championship, online team championship for Azul. Interesting move from Santiblader. I can see some ideas behind there. It's probably wanting to set up some scoring opportunities with this road sticking into his city, but finally Ervin gets the 5 points for the road, and most importantly, he gets the equality for the city. Equality on meeples as well. Santi with a giraffe's next tile. Maybe just go here, claim the 6-point field, or go here, make it impossible for a red, for green to connect, or just go here, say YOLO, and develop the city. Yeah, because like taking the 6-point field is not that urgent, given the fact there's still 3 monasteries, all scoring for 5 or even 6 points each. There's this combo still possible, so farming is not that urgent, and Santi's still 13 points behind. I kind of keep forgetting about that. So this 15-point field in the center is great, but Santi still needs to score. Ervin, 2 quick points. Yeah, so there's that tournament of that I was describing, whilst Santi decides where to place the monastery. I think we could go for 5 points here, or we could just use it as a farming tile, so we'll find out soon what the Argentinian decides. And there's some... So if this... And if the games for that tournament will be in real-time format, so it could be real-time, it could be turn-based, it could be a mix, but if it's real-time, I'm definitely streaming loads and loads of games and loads of Azul content. So we're gonna find out soon. Santi's building up his monastery, but this allows Ervin to draw a filthy, filthy farmer. Santi now with some chances. So probably gonna get some quick points here and a chance to complete his monastery. That would be huge. But how exactly do you do that? I know how you do that. You go here, you take those 4 points, and then you hope to draw a Dorito tile. Yeah, so like monasteries are great, but there's also the problem that it leaves the field for your opponent, so you just can't have everything. Santi with a splitter tile. Whilst Ervin's developing his drawing on top. Santi takes the 4 quick points, going for the one of the 2 remaining Dorito tiles over here. Ervin gets the first one. Just adds a point to his city. Still just simply trying to outrun. Santi now with some chances. How about Santi? We go here. And we set up a 5-point road. That'll be an amazing opportunity to take advantage of this road then, but will the Argentinian see it? And now he has to score. Because if you go over here, you give yourself a chance to draw one of the 2 road Doritos, which would be a 7-point move for you, or even 8 if the Dorito has a shield, but it doesn't because both of the shielded Doritos are on the board. So you go here, meepleless probably, then you draw this tile, you get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 points for this road, meeple back instantly, and then you even have a chance to finish the city with 3 Doritos. Red with all the chances to win this game. Despite Ervin's scoreboard lead, despite Ervin's 9-point field, despite Ervin's 9-point ruin at the top. And Santi goes for it! But Ervin is the first to draw the tile, and Ervin very wisely takes the 6 points himself. But Santi can now use the other Doritos to try and finish the city. So now it's a change of plans. I believe Santi should go here and then use the other Dorito not to finish his monastery, but to finish the city. He has to hope for it. Now, it's also a question whether Santi should have meepled this road. I don't think so. I think it was fine without a meeple just as it is. Some scoring opportunities here. Santi can have a monastery. And I think he has to go here for defense. And he might even have to place some meeple on it. So I'm not sure what the score is exactly, but Santi has to be losing here. But the city's going to be 10 points and a meeple back. So it's not an exhaustive analysis, but I think a 25% chance of win for the Argentinian. I believe he does win if and only if he draws the Dorito tile on his next turn and gets a meeple back immediately. Ervin with a straight line just takes some quick points. Santi with the monastery, and he's sure he's going to take 4 points now, and now everything will depend over here. And that's why, by the way, that's why I told you that he had to meeple this meeple here. Because then he could have just simply added an extra monastery point here. And then he could have drawn the Dorito, ended up with a 5-point monastery. And now he's going to have to settle for a 4-point monastery. So, not meepling this monastery will cost Santiblader a point. Santi could also go maybe here and try to simply equalize the field. That would give him 9 points, but a 4-point monastery plus this would give him 10 points. Yeah. Because you get by... And it will work. But Ervin will get the 3 points for the city over here. Santi gets the Dorito tile. But wait a second. But then if this were the remaining tile, I guess Santi should have gone here after all, trying to invade the field, because the field is now worth 12 points. So let's see who won. I believe it should be Ervin by a couple of points. And we're going to see what were the crucial endgame decisions that affected the outcome. Okay, so it is going to be Ervin Gall with a huge comeback victory in this duel by more than just a couple of points, so 6 points. So I don't think there was anything in particular that Santi could have done. Well, he could have had that 1 extra point. Yeah, that's what I told you. So in order to win, he had to draw that tile like immediately afterwards. Monastery meeple here. Then you get back and... yeah, and even then he would have probably come just a couple of points short. So very nice farmer here by Ervin, and despite some, how do you say, an extremely questionable opening, he managed to collect himself where it matters and just run away with his scoreboard advantage, despite losing the farm, despite losing so many meeples, and just outrunning Santiblader by 6 points. So we congratulate Ervin Gall, who moves on to the next round. And my commiserations to Santiago and all the Argentinian fans, but a reminder to you that it is a double elimination format, so Santi will be competing in the losers bracket, and if he still wins all his games, he still has a chance to qualify. But enough talking. Now it's time to get to our main match of the day, which is already running for half an hour. The main match. So Devaka, Sergei Koksharov, one of the newest Ukrainian masters. Who is already playing his second game against Claudio Jorquera, the Chilean master. Yeah, and currently he's outrating Devaka, even though I think Devaka's peak is actually higher than Claudio's. And their second, well, they are playing quickly. Claudio won the first game. And who's winning the second game? Okay, the second game I think is going to be won by Devaka, because I see monasteries, I see a huge ruin in Red's favor, and I see a field which is not enough to compensate for this sort of stuff. So now Claudio will be counting tiles, which will be completely useless because the Ukrainian will win this game with a big point difference. So I'm actually just going to update the score straight away. Claudio won the first one. Devaka's winning this one no matter what. And at least we'll get to watch an exciting decider. Oh, that's painful, and Devaka even gets to finish his 12-point city. So I can understand Claudio. He was hoping to draw the city cap himself, and that was a good decision. But unfortunate for the Chilean. Very unfortunate for the Chilean. Yeah, like I see he was making like all the good moves to give him some chance to win. Like he was setting up the 6-point road, but he just drew the curve a little bit too late. Certainly, that was a game that would have been fun to comment on the start. Look at this blocked square. So this is clearly Claudio trying to equalize this big ruin in a last-ditch effort. Divac with a bit of a miss at the end, taking a 2-point city instead of a 3-point road or a 4-point road here. Not sure what that's about, but it doesn't matter because he's gonna win by a huge margin. By the way, just want to check the thinking time. Yeah, so 8 minutes versus 2:44. Ervin, as usual, under 3 minutes. Yeah, 25-point win for the Ukrainian, and it is a tied match, and we're here just in time for the decider. Turn-based games, what that's about. All Carcassonne games. Yeah, that's interesting. Wow, 12,000 games played already in just 1 year, I believe. Yeah, in almost 2 years. But certainly very, very active, and hence the master title comes with experience. Alrighty, so the third game has been created. We will keep refreshing. I'm going to ASMR you with a protein bar wrapper. Really need energy to get through the end of the stream. Alrighty, the game has started. Claudio with a starting player advantage, meepling this road over here. Divac responds with a series of 2 instances of quick points. 4 points on the scoreboard for the Ukrainian. And look at this. Fantastic move. This is how masters play. Aggressive scoring, right? How many players would have just added 1 point to this road on the left? Not Claudio. He found an opportunity to get a 5-point road with these road ends, and it's about to pay off. Now finishing his other road, starting a new city, equalizing on the scoreboard. Bart Divac finishes an 8-point city. And +8 for the Ukrainian. Claudio building up his city. 1 tile away from securing it like this. And then an attempt to create a lip-shaped city for 20 points will come. Divac, 2 points and some pressure on this road over here. Claudio with some quick 4 points for the city in the center. -6 for the Chilean. A curve for Divac. A good move here, I see, to try and build some road for himself. Don't really see any strong alternatives. That's an option, but it's not that strong. It's not that strong. Like, the idea for this move is to get a style exactly like this, and then try block Claudio's city. But it's not going to work. Because Claudio's going to go over here, meeple the city cap, of course, for insurance. No, come on. Come on. Claudio, you stingy person. Spend a meeple. Like, it's does so much for the safety of this city. It reduces variance. Well, anyway, at least Claudio gets to finish his 5-point road. Divaco with more quick points. So Claudio does meeple this city eventually. Could have done that earlier, but this exposes some problematic squares next to his bigger city. But Divaco with the evil hamster, 9 points go Ukrainians' way, +8 on the scoreboard. But still, all is not lost for Claudio. He's not actually that behind. He's now starting to create some problems for Divaco's city over here, and now the Ukrainian has a real choice. Do you go here and develop your city? Do you go here and try block this guy's city? Or do you go here and simply connect all the cities to reduce variance? With 8-point lead on the scoreboard, I believe instead of this, Divaco probably should have gone for that move, just connecting all the cities, just because of stuff like this. Yeah, that's it. I believe Claudio's gonna win this, and all because of that decision. It was like, from a win percentage standpoint, it was important for Divaco to actually try and block, not block, but connect to Claudio's city. Another downside of this move is that it connects two of Red's meeples together. So with this attack, if Red were to get blocked, first of all, that was actually not that likely at all, but if Red were to get blocked, Red would be losing only 1 meeple. But now, if Red gets blocked, then Red loses 2 meeples. So it's more variance. Now Claudio is choosing between the correct move and the incorrect move, and Claudio goes for the incorrect move. Honestly, it's such a big mistake. I can't believe it. Well, it's not okay. It's not a huge mistake, but I'll tell you why I don't like this one bit. So it protects the city. That's great, but actually, no. Okay. Like, it's not. I slightly prefer the other move. Only slightly. Yeah. I think that's what I should better say. Like, it's not a big mistake. So yeah, I'll explain a little bit. Like, there are 3 tiles either way. There are 3 city caps that fits like this, 3 vanillas. If you turn this the other way with the vanilla, with the city cap facing down, and also drop a farmer, it's the same deal. There are 3 tiles. You can either get the hourglass, or you can get the split hourglass. And there's still 3 of those remaining. There's 1 of this, and there's 2 of those. But if you turn it like this, there's some better positive outcomes. So first of all, you still have the same probability of finishing your city, but in this scenario, you score more when you finish the city, because you get these 4 extra points. Or if you get the hourglass, that is even better. You get to finish your city and completely box in your 12-point farm. Now I know why why Claudio chose to do this. His idea was to keep blocking that meeple on the right to get a better blocking probability, and the only reason why it's working out is because Divaco, for some reason, decided to help him. And now Claudio draws the game-winning tile. Man, that's just beautiful. Yeah. So this is the last tile that fits into this square. And again, also, like, for some reason, it wasn't Claudio who put this tile here. It was Divaco, I think. Oh no, maybe it was Claudio after all. I could be hallucinating. But yeah, so the idea behind this move was to sacrifice some point scoring equity and then to have a slightly higher blocking chance. And now this meeple is blocked, this meeple is blocked, and this meeple is blocked because there's nothing that goes into the square anymore. All the 3 horse tiles are on the board, but Divock is ahead on the scoreboard. So that's nice for him. And what a great move by the Ukrainian. Not just developing his city, but going for the crawling technique. Yes, let's go. That's brilliant, brilliant. So you're trying to develop his city, but also to eat up the 5 points that are lying around over here. I don't think it's going to help him because Claudio is just drawing an obscene amount of monasteries. But Divock has somehow the temporary meeple advantage. The reason why he has the temporary meeple advantage is because Claudio still is waiting for the tile to finish his city. Claudio's invested in the monasteries, and Divock draws the first 3 of the city caps. So some chances for the Ukrainian. If he draws 2 more city caps, he can absolutely win. Because this farmer will be trapped with 6 points, or 9 at best if green drops the splitter. And this city will be trapped with 1, 4, 5, 6 points. Claudio's developing his monasteries. 1 tile away from getting a meeple back, but Claudio gets the statistically expected city cap, completes a 14 points. Meeple gets a meeple back, has 2 meeples now. It is Divock who's without meeples already. Well, he does get 1 back. It is even on the scoreboard, but it will be an uphill climb for the Ukrainian, mainly because of the meeple advantage. Divock gets a splitter. That's a really good scoring tile for him. He has only 1 meeple, so he needs to take any points he can get. Claudio with a tile that Divock needs over here. Claudio is just meepling a ruin. Okay, so this already accomplished something. At the very least, this move forced an investment of a meeple from Claudio. So that was still a great sequence by the Ukrainian. Divock adding 1 point to his road and harassing his opponent's road a little bit. Claudio without meeples, waiting for a curve to get a meeple back from the monastery. Divock is still ahead on the scoreboard, equal on the field with 2 points. Divock with a city cap, important tile. 10 points ahead on the scoreboard and making it slightly harder for Claudio to finish his road. Claudio gets a road tile, adds an extra point. Divock needs to come up with a winning plan here. I have an idea. So maybe, as the Ukrainian, we wait until green finishes the monastery like this. And when he does, we're going to use this platform to drop a farmer and connect to the field. And surely these 15 points plus our scoreboard lead, plus our slightly longer road, should be enough to deal with these monasteries. So that's a waiting move from the Ukrainian. Claudio with a road tile. I think a bit of a miss from Claudio. I would have preferred adding to the road rather than the monastery. Divock with a curve. Could go here, block the monastery. I'm not sure if that's important with 12 tiles. Divock is continuing his road and setting up some field connection opportunities. Only 1 curve remaining. And this is the last curve, so Divaca cannot go here, sadly. He cannot connect to the farm because there are no more curves. But he can still hope for a curvoid. If he wants, he can go here and drop a farmer like this. The so-called ninja farmer. There are still 3 Doritos with the road, for example. And with 10 tiles remaining, this might be just the thing to start thinking about. Only 1 crossroads remaining. But then if you attack the farm now... Yeah, he chooses not to do that. Instead, he just wants to block Claudio's farm. And maybe attack later. But Claudio can now block Divaca's road. Does he know that? There are no curves remaining. Yeah, I see your message, Elias. I will address... basically, this move I will address again in the chat after the game. It's really interesting. So both the players just exchange mild scoring moves. Divaca with a monastery. He has to attack the field in order to win. He has some roads, some cities, but these monasteries are too much. He can't attack the field just yet, but he needs to think about the structure of the board with this move. How do you set up a field connection? I see one. No, I don't. Oh, that was a great move that prevented Claudio from finishing his road. Claudio's still just gonna score some quick points. Can the Ukrainian really win without the field here? No, not yet. Okay, so some quick point scoring opportunities for Divaca. Or maybe it's time to go for the 40%er. We can go here, drop a farmer, hope for the last remaining Dorito, which would enable us a connection to the farm and maybe the victory. Claudio's 3 points ahead. Okay, is he going for it? Yes, he's going for the 40%er. The Dorito that fits here. Still 1 remaining. 50-50 now as Claudio fails to draw the Dorito. But Claudio can do this and drop a farmer here. He doesn't. Does Claudio think? Does Claudio think that he can win without the field? Because my idea was that Claudio could have gone here to reduce the chances of Divaca winning. So the idea is like if Divaca gets the Dorito, then Claudio can get the monastery. But if Divaca gets both the Dorito and the monastery, then maybe Claudio gets something else useful, like a city cap here to get a 3-point field. Because the reason why it's okay to invest a meeple is because if Divaca goes over here and successfully connects, he will give back a monastery, like a monastery meeple back to green. And also, the field is now, as a result of this city, which was not claimed, but it was completed, this field is now worth 18 points. And it could be just enough for Divaca to outrun the 2 monasteries. So Claudio's really thinking here. I think he probably needs to go the outrunning route. I don't think he can allow for a 50-50, but you and I, well, y'all, we can just think about what's the final remaining tile. It's quite easy. So the final remaining tiles are 2 Doritos of different kinds. And Divaca misses. Divaca misses, and he's not going to connect to the field. The best move for the Ukrainian is to go here and block the 1-pointer For Divac, for well, yeah, he just drops the tile, but technically the best move was going over here and disallowing 2 quick points. Oh wait, never mind. Yeah, so Claudio had a maple in hand, so it doesn't really matter. Oh, that was the best move. Yeah, that was awesome actually. I didn't realize there was a 6-point field, and so respect for Divac for being precise until the end. This is a move that denies a 6-point farm for Claudio. Okay, this game was exciting, and it remains to be seen if Divac would have won with that tile. I think he would have. Yeah, he would have won. With this Dorito tile. Oh, that would have been so interesting. With this Dorito tile, Divac would have gained 14 points. Plus 15 for the field, and -1 for giving back Claudio Monastery meeple. With this tile, Claudio would have scored a 4-point road, so the same. Yeah, and Divac would have won by 1 point. So this means that actually the penultimate move was Claudio was a big miss. With this move over here, what Claudio needed to do was to already spend the meeple, it wouldn't have changed the outcome, I think, but it was still more precise to do this. So as Claudio to go here with this tile, and then Divac would have gone over here and given back Claudio another meeple to work with, in which case Claudio could have gone over here and taken the 4-point road, so the same thing, and this would leave Claudio with 2 more points than in the actual game. And so then in that case, even if Divac were to successfully connect to the field, then Claudio would still win the game by 1 point. So unfortunately a little bit that Claudio was not able to solve this endgame, going for the 50% win instead of for the 100% win. But gets the coin flip and does not get punished. So yeah, an absolutely exciting game. Yeah, so I think the moment where Divac lost this game was this move over here. Like, it was crucial to minimize variance and actually connect to this city over here, and not allow all of this stuff. Also, remember how I said before any of that happened that whenever Divac does something like this, either he gets none of his meeple blocked, or he gets both of these meeple blocked. And he did in fact get both of these meeples blocked. So just one decision, unfortunately, costing the Ukrainian the match. And as for this move, at first I thought it was a big mistake because I just miscounted the number of tiles. I thought that there were simply more tubes remaining than there were city caps. But even with numbers aside, going over here is better, not just because your resulting city scores higher, and not just results of this other thing that you can sometimes get away with a nice closed 12-point field if you draw the tube. Not just that, but also you get to benefit from more tiles. So you still get to benefit from simple city caps, because you can still go over here and score some cities. You can still use the city cap for blocking purposes and so on. And so basically, by turning this tile the other way, you're setting up yourself to benefit from more different tiles. It's okay, it's not that big of a difference, really. And certainly this blocking opportunity is worth something. But then again, like, I believe this move was made by red and not green. So we shouldn't really assume that red is going to be helping us with the blocking. So yeah, like, not a big mistake or anything. It's certain I would have just preferred the other move for greater flexibility, and maybe just sacrificing, you know, like 5% of blocking chances, possibly even a little bit more, just for the sake of a more balanced development. There were some other things about the shape of the field. Well, anyway. I think we should stop here, and we're going to have a little bonus. This match has concluded unexpectedly early, and also, who would have thought that the match involving Ervin G would last 1.5 hours, and the match which involved two masters who are not famous for extremely fast playing would last less than 1 hour. So first I'm going to update the score and congratulate all Chilean fans and express commiserations to Ukrainian fans, but also remind that this is a double elimination format, so Divalkis still has a chance to qualify if he wins all his other games. Oh, this is Q3 also, I believe. Anyway, no. Never mind. Yeah, so Claudia wins. But what I want to see if the match between Rodas and Alchemist, so the two newcomers, is still going on or not. So maybe we get to see at least a couple of tiles from them. However, I know that Rodas is actually a really fast player. Huh. Isn't that interesting? Did they cancel the match? Did they reschedule it? Did they get the time wrong? Because we didn't get it wrong. What if we refresh the website? Maybe we have some new info here. Maybe they're just starting now? Maybe they were mistaken by an hour? Maybe they got the day wrong? Well, that's a bit surprising. Anybody who knows anything about the match between the Moldovan and the Uruguayan, do enlighten us. Yeah, Elias is saying the city is way better blocking than the field, referring to no, not this, referring to okay, I mean, since we have time now, we can actually just go to this game again and view the final position. Or maybe we can try and do something like this. Let's go to move 50. Okay, not there just yet. Yeah, so actually we are very close to the critical decision. Yeah, so the move that I was suggesting was this. So you go here, you drop a farmer, you make a slightly bigger city, and Elias is saying that this yields a lesser blocking probability than the other option. Well, the concern that I have is that if you go here, so yes, the blocking chances are better, but we should take into account that we can't use a regular city cap for blocking because the regular city cap we need here, so it sort of takes away a couple of blocking tiles. And also we need to account for scenarios like what happens when we draw something like this, like a starting tile or something like this, because then we can't really score 4 points from the city. Because if we score 4 points from the city, we're sort of helping our opponents. Yeah. Now, when it comes to the shape of the field, so when you do something like this, I kind of like that the field is not sort of that easy to invade. So let's say we take something here, red drops a farmer, and then we drop a farmer. And then we go here, and sort of there are no further invasion points. If we do this, then there's that stuff. Red can... Yeah, so there are just more options for invasion. So this was the thing that I was referring to. But now that I think about this... Our inability to use roads plus city tiles productively, it's not really such a big deal. So I do like what this does to our blocking chances, actually. And Divaco, of course, can defend with a city plus road tile, like a Dorito or something like this. But Divac already needs a city plus road tile here. So yeah, I mean, the more I look at this, the more and more I like this. I mean, I would have still played the other way. But I completely acknowledge that me calling this a mistake was certainly an overreaction. Anyway, sort of interesting decision. Yeah, and then again, I'm not mistaken. Like, this is just completely beyond me. Sort of, Divaca just actually went and helped block himself. I don't think I'll be able to understand this. Maybe he miscounted. So I think what was happening is that maybe he miscounted this tile. Maybe he thought there were 2 of those remaining, because when there's a meeple on the tile, like on this one, it's harder to see. And maybe he thought that one of the horses was already was not on the table, so there were 2 horses available. Yeah, so you could make a case for placing the tile like this and turning it the other way, because that would leave 2 starting tiles. But I still believe, from the perspective of red, the best move is just to go here and claim this city piece. Because then you can go here and try to protect the square and not allowing green to place anything there and just finishing this city. Yeah. Anyway, very, very interesting sequence. All right, let's just check on Rodaz again. Maybe let's see if that was indeed some sort of scheduling issue, but no, I don't, isn't. Like, Rodaz is online. Maybe that's a different screen name? No, that is the correct screen name. What about the Uruguayan? And they are not online either. And they were not playing Carcassonne in the last couple of hours. So yeah, the match must have been rescheduled without the knowledge of the organizers. So that's a bit sad. So good to know that we chose to stream the right one. Alrighty, that then should be enough. Let's just look at what is happening tomorrow. There's going to be some more updates. I know that Krishna's playing tomorrow, so it has not been reflected yet in the schedule. I am playing on Monday. Tomorrow I will stream one of the matches for sure. It is just not clear which one. So stay tuned, and there will be a short notice about that, because also like players are submitting their match times really, really rapidly, and some spontaneous decisions will need to be made. What else can we do? Let's look at the bracket, I guess. So first of all, I think that I should slightly correct the score because I believe Claudio and Divaca might be actually in Q3, no? Okay, qualifications, Q3. Yeah, okay, perfect. They are indeed in Q3. Claudio got there because Chile got second in Copa America. And Divaca got there because Ukraine got an extra participants as a result of Instagram voting. And yeah. We have some results there. Okay, let's actually see what's going to happen to our two players. Here's the bracket. So Claudio Jorquera will be playing against Paksho of Thailand. Oh, that'll be a match I'd really like to see. Although it's something that could be difficult for Europeans when it comes to time zones, but let's see what they agree on. Big Nacho versus Kristen is going to be a banger. And the winner of this match versus the winner of this match as well. As for Divaca, Divaca will be playing now Besson of Brazil. No. He'll be playing. Yeah, he'll be playing either LSC or one of these two. So still quite some time before we get to find out their next round opponent. Alright, that's the bracket. These are today's results. I'll see you tomorrow for sure. Don't know when, but stay tuned. There will be an update in the community tab. Thank you so much for watching, and I'm gonna see you soon.